Hello, do you ever feel like Elijah and you're all alone? Hi, I'm Ken Yates from Grace Evangelical Society, and I would like to address that issue. Now, when I say you're all alone, I don't mean like you don't have any friends. I'm talking about theologically. You know the story of Elijah. He was being persecuted by Ahab and Jezebel, and he was complaining to God that he was the only one. And the Lord told him, no, you're not the only one. I have 7,000 there in Israel who have not bowed their knee to Baal, because Elijah was opposing the prophets of Baal, and he thought he was all alone. Sometimes in the free grace community, we can get to feel that way. And I talk to people all the time, and they say, for example, in my area, there aren't any free grace churches, or it's just really hard to get good teaching, or whatever the case may be. And it's very common to hear people say, I'm the only one. The message of grace is not going out. And when it does go out, people don't listen to it. I explain it to people, and it's like they have blinders over their eyes or something like that. And so we can be just like Elijah and say, I'm all alone. No one sees it. People are closed to the truth of grace, and I wish more people would be open to it. Well, I want to encourage you, if you feel that way. There's more people than you think. Now, I know that people who are opposed to free grace theology, that's one of the things they charge us with. They say, well, obviously free grace theology is not right because nobody but you believe it. You're the only guy in this city who believes it, for example. Well, I just want to tell you a story that happened to me and my daughter as we went to speak for GES in the Florida, Georgia area. When we were down there, we conducted a little conference, and it was with Spanish speakers. And there's a pastor down there who is working with two churches, and the people in the conference mainly came from those churches, but there were also visiting pastors. And not only that, but they also have connections with people in at least two other countries, Mexico and the Dominican Republic. And I just want to tell you that I spoke at it, and then the pastor spoke at it, and then there was a missionary from the Dominican Republic who spoke at it, and the people were psyched for free grace teaching. It was incredible. I wish you all could have been there. We had a couple of question and answer periods, and we had to cut them off. We had to say we only limited them for an hour, because they said, we'll be here till 10 o'clock at night. And the people, they had been taught by this pastor free grace theology. This missionary that was from the Dominican Republic had impacted them with some notes. And there were over 100 people in this little small town outside of Tallahassee, over across the line into Georgia. There were, like I said, there were over 100 people. And they understood the issues. They got it. And these visiting pastors, a number of them said, can you come back next year and do this in my church in various cities in Georgia? They said, our people need to hear this as well. And we had some books in Spanish that were free grace, one of Zane Hodges' books, and then one of the books that I've written that was translated into Spanish. And they all sold out. I wish we had brought more. And then they had a Zoom class later on that week. It meets every week on the Gospel of John, and the material that they use is all free grace material. And I sat in on that, and there was about 20 people on this Zoom class, some in the United States, some in the Dominican Republic, some in Mexico. And when the teacher asked questions, they got them all right. It was incredible. It was such an encouragement. For example, he said, what happens if I believe in Jesus Christ for eternal life and then I go out and sin a lot, like I commit adultery or I rob somebody? To a man and to a woman, they all said, you still have eternal life. And I just couldn't help but thinking about Elijah when Elijah was complaining, saying, woe is me, I'm the only one. And if you feel that way as a free grace person, just remember, God is at work. God is reaching out to people through his word. The Spirit is revealing the truth to people, and there's a lot more of them than you think so. So be encouraged by that. And I hope that that encourages all of us to be faithful in proclaiming the message. If you like this message, I'd ask that you would press the like button or maybe even the subscribe button. And remember, keep grace in focus.